All right.
Ready for this one?
Oh, yeah. Let's kill it.
Going live in 3, 2.
2, 1.
What's up, Fight Bros podcast listeners? Back at you after a week. Took a week off.
Oh, yeah. Took a week off.
Fight Bros podcast number 25. We're here on February 29th, 2020. As always, I'm Marcus Burks, and this is Albert Walters.
Hey. Happy to be here as always, guys. We got a pretty good podcast for you today. Recapping a little bit into the boxing realm, but if you watch ESPN at all, you'll be able to see why we're going to talk about this. So, but the rest of it's UFC. So,
yeah.
But getting into the boxing part, last weekend we had Deontay Wilder versus Fury. Now, what's your thoughts on this as a whole? So for anyone who might not know, Fury won. And so what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so just kind of recapping their little history as a whole. So this is going to be a quick summary. Tyson Fury, he was a champion back in the day. Pretty much he got used to that champion life. He got hooked on drugs. He got up to, I believe, like 380 pounds. He actually tried to commit suicide. He was driving one of his sports cars, and I believe he said he was going 190. And then his take on it is that he said that God placed an image in his head, or kind of like a vivid video of his wife and kids, and he was actually in like the middle of committing suicide. He was going to run off a road at 190. He said something just kind of clicked, and then he got back into training. Then he got his weight down. He got hooked off drugs. He just started to find that motivation and care for himself again. Then we get to where Deontay Wilder called him out, saying that he can't lose the weight, this and that. He's a has-been. So he loses the weight. Rewind to about a year ago, they end up fighting each other. Ends in a draw. Pretty much the whole fight, Tyson Fury outboxed him, but Tyson Fury got knocked down twice. I think I remember because there's a meme that I showed you that was funny. The second time he got knocked down, he got up like The Undertaker. His eyes were closed. He was completely knocked out. And then he froze up like The Undertaker.
Oh, the whole sit up thing?
So that's why that one kind of ended in a tie, even though Tyson Fury pretty much dominated him on the points. Fast forward to now, the second time, Tyson Fury comes in at 275 pounds, bigger than he was last time, but muscular now. Deontay Wilder comes in, he gained 15 pounds of muscle, just pure muscle, 235 pounds. So, people had their takes on it. Oh, Tyson, he's coming in too heavy, this and that. Deontay Wilder's going to put on muscle mass, he's going to knock him out, this and that. Nah, Deontay Wilder got pretty much TKO'd, as we like to call it in UFC. His corner threw in the towel, but he was getting completely outboxed by Tyson Fury the entire fight. Deontay Wilder, he had blood coming out of his ear. At one point, people thought there was a problem with his eardrum. His lip was messed up pretty bad. I think Tyson Fury knocked him down twice. Yeah, and it was funny because after the fight, man, Tyson Fury was like, "That's not bad for a fat, bald guy with pillow hands." Because Deontay Wilder called him pillow hands, said his hands hit like pillows. So, Tyson Fury's, he's my favorite, man. Just his story is amazing.
Absolutely.
I don't get how you couldn't like the guy.
Yeah. And that's funny. Yeah, not bad for some pillow hands.
Yeah.
But he just got rocked by those pillow hands.
But my problem with this, and I want to get your take on it. After the fight, I hate when people do this. I hate when people do this in anything, anytime they lose. People will say, I'm not going to make excuses, but when you hear that line, I'm not going to make excuses, they're about to make an excuse.
Yeah.
As soon as they said that, as soon as Deontay Wilder said that, he said, I'm not going to make an excuse, but I didn't have no legs because my costume that I came out with, the bronze bomber costume, was 45 pounds. Let's get your take on this, because and obviously I'm not criticizing. I don't box. I know I couldn't box them. I'm just saying from the point of I guess just a motivated athlete. I just think that's kind of messed up. I just hate personally when people say, I'm not going to make an excuse, but
blank. Yeah. Well, so my thought on this is kind of like, maybe that's so, maybe it's not. It's just kind of weird if he's okay. Let's put this. Let's say we're gonna put this on Cejudo.
yeah,
You put 45 pounds on Cejudo. That's 1/3 of his weight. If he comes out with that and he goes, "Hey man, I lost because I wore this big thing trying to be cute," you would kind of believe it because he's such a small guy.
yeah,
With someone as big as this, you're like, that's a minimal amount. Not like minimal, but that's a small fraction of like you. And if you're pure muscle, 15 pounds of muscle can throw up 45 pounds of a vest anytime, anywhere. And if you're only wearing it for like, I don't know, 1 minute for a walkout or something like that, I think it will have a minimal effect on your play.
yeah.
I think it's mental. He might have been like, because we all get that. Like we all have these little taboos that you don't realize are taboos to you. If you're like, man, I should have laced my shoes a different way before that basketball game.
Yeah.
I would have felt better. Like, that's all it is. Like, if your ritual was to lace it one way and you didn't, you're going to blame it on that because mentally you're just like, I think that's why, because I kept that in my head the whole time. I think that's what's happening here is he just had a taboo, or maybe it's a scapegoat or something. I don't see where it could actually pose a real effect on his play. Because even then, by the time you take it off, you're stripping down. You're kind of just like, you got a few minutes of rest while they're calling out everything to kind of like rejuvenate. So it's not like, hey, rip this 45-pound suit off and then start fighting. Like, I don't know, man. And, depending on what you wear in the winter, 45 pounds isn't that far off from what your normal clothes would be. When you count like your boots, your big jacket, all your layers, your pants, your long johns, like that can easily get up to like 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of walking around like normal because that's the winter. That's what you're used to. But I don't know, man.
And let's bring into play here too. In 2018, this video has kind of been getting brought up. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about trying to get those type 1 high intensity muscle fibers going, those quick, massive force muscle fibers going. He said that he wears a 45-pound vest while he's training, while he's sprinting, while he's punching heavy bag and stuff. So I just didn't like that, man. I didn't like that as an excuse.
I don't think it's a valid excuse. Like really and truly, like I think that's I don't want to make an excuse, but I'm making an actual excuse. I don't think that poses any real effect on his ability.
And then the next question we'll get into. So essentially it ended in a TKO. I mean, he was getting outboxed the whole fight, but his coach or not his head coach, but one of his cornermen threw in the towel.
Only a cornerman? Whoa.
He threw in the towel. Wilder was furious after that. He ran over to that cornerman and said, I mean, he didn't run over. He walked over and he was kind of stumbling. Like, that's the point where I was like, yeah, he made the right decision because Wilder stumbled over to the cornerman. But just to go a little bit more into this, there was rumors that Wilder was going to fire his cornerman that threw in the towel. I think he was going to fire him, but he heard all the backlash from the public, and now he's keeping him. But yeah, right, like 2 days after, people were saying he fired his cornerman. And that was probably some truth to that.
I could see it.
But just my take on it is, yeah, I understand if I was in that point, like, I'm kind of one of those people, I want to go out, you know what I'm saying? If I'm getting beat in a basketball game, I want to play the whole game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want to stop.
I'm going to go, my mentality is like, I'm going to go till I can't no more, until I fall out, something like that. But
ride till you can't no
more.
Yeah,
if I'm doing a 5K, like, I'm going to keep pushing past the limits, you know what I'm saying?
Did you get my reference?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Okay.
Yeah, but just,
Absolutely,
I
though.
get what
Yeah,
he's saying because I get his
absolutely.
mind,
So
just the mind of an
yeah,
athlete.
so
About
yeah, so Wilder was mad, and he wanted to go out. I
but
mean, I think he knew he was losing, so he just wanted to go out with the fight, though.
but at the same time, he's still young. I believe he's in his late 20s, early 30s.
That's
I
not
believe he's
bad.
got 4 kids. The
Oh,
corner man's just trying to do what's best for him. I mean, that's what I think it was the right decision. You got to do what's best in the interest because
that's
at the
just
end of the day, you're a human first. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. It's really weird because in this situation, I agree with it and I disagree with
Yeah.
it. I'm kind of like I get it, but also I get it on the other side. Like if I was Wilder, I'd want to keep fighting because it's
Hmm.
like that's what you're there to do. You're there to fight. So like it ain't gonna be pretty. It's gonna get messy, and sometimes when you're facing a dude like Fury, you can get rocked like
Yeah.
a lot, and it's gonna be ugly. So, but that's what you signed up for. But on the other hand, it's like, but you do have to protect yourself. So on the other hand, it's like you gotta just keep your head level, and know when enough's enough.
Yeah.
So I'm for the decision, but I'm against it as well. Like just because I get both
I
sides.
understand.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
is there one way or the other that I'm leaning? Not really, because I totally understand both sides
Yeah.
to it. Um, but do you think his corner was right for throwing in the towel?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I believe
I don't think they were wrong.
you're a
Yeah,
human being first. You're a
yeah,
family man first, and then you're that.
and you got
Yeah.
kids. Like that kind
Yeah.
of goes into it,
Hmm.
man. Um, so Wilder
And I mean,
evoked.
true. If
Oh,
that cornerman is your family, that's your one of your tight friends. That's what I read. Is that cornerman was a little bit more than just a cornerman.
and
I
that's the
mean, he
thing.
was
It
a
would
coach
be
at the end of the day, like
well,
a help.
yeah,
But he,
but it would be hard to watch your friend or family
yeah,
member get rocked by this old bald dude like round after round
and
after round. Like you'd want to call it because you're like, I can't watch you get beat up anymore,
Nick
man.
and Nate Diaz as tough as they come. But when Nate took that head kick from Josh Thompson a couple of years ago, I believe in 2011, um, actually while the ref was stopping it, Nick threw the towel in.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a video is like as soon as the head kick landed, Nick threw the towel in, and then the ref didn't see it because he got right on the ground where Josh Thompson was doing some ground and pound,
Hmm.
and then he caught it. But yeah, so I mean, even those two guys are those two guys. I feel like are the only guys in MMA that they're not going to quit. They'll die first,
Yeah,
and yeah, so just even those guys with the mentality they have, Nick, they're in the towel. So
absolutely. So, and that's
yeah,
just, it's hard to watch your family member, even though they signed up for it. It's hard to watch them get beat up. Um, so Wilder evoked his rematch that he had in his contract. He had 30 days to say he wanted a rematch, and he did it last night. Do you agree with this? Do you think that's fair for him to get a? This is odd. We don't normally see this in the UFC. You normally don't have rematch clauses in the UFC. So this is something that most UFC fans aren't really used to seeing. But do you agree with it? Do you think he deserves a rematch after that?
as a Tyson Fury fan and as just a fan of this heavyweight division of boxing, I didn't want to see this rematch just because I felt like Tyson Fury outboxed him in the first one. Uh, if those knockdowns didn't happen, he would have won the first one. The
Yeah.
second one, he made it clear. I just don't want to see a third one. I wanted to see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. I don't know
Yeah.
if you know who Anthony Joshua is.
Mm-mm.
Um, well, that's okay because I mean, the reason why is because he won't come over to the United States and fight.
Oh.
He claims he's the top heavyweight, but he won't come over to the United States. Tyson Fury came over to the United States.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so that's the thing is like the top guys in this heavyweight division are Deontay Wilder in just heavyweight boxing in the world.
Hmm.
Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury in no order because Tyson Fury is definitely number one. But
Absolutely.
and then Dylan White, which is I can't remember where Dylan White's from. I believe he's from the United States, but I could be wrong on that. Uh, yes, but Anthony Joshua, he wouldn't fight Deontay Wilder when he had the chance. Now they're kind of acting like he wants to fight Tyson Fury, which that's the fight everybody wants to see. All the boxing fans, we want to see Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
But and this is what I heard about yesterday. Tyson Fury's camp offered Deontay Wilder millions of dollars to not invoke that rematch clause so he could go fight Anthony Joshua.
Oh.
Which nobody could really say, like, oh, you're ducking him for a third time. Like, no, he just went out there and dominated him. Like, he wants to move on to something else, move on with life.
Why yeah, it's like there's other fights. Like, why would you do it 3 in a row?
Yeah.
So, because the first one was a draw. So you didn't really – he didn't win, but he didn't lose. But he won the second one. So it's like just end it at that, man. Yeah. Go get you some other fights under your belt. Then maybe come back to it. Maybe come back in a year or two.
The second fight, they didn't even come out even. Like, the promotion that put it on didn't even come out even on it. So I think that tells you right there, move on to something else.
Absolutely. Well, that's annoying.
Yeah.
You know, I probably would have taken the few million, man. I wouldn't complain to have a few extra million.
Yeah.
But I don't think most people would.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're getting paid millions for a fight anyhow.
Oh, I know.
He probably got more than that just for losing.
Oh, yeah. Boxing, if you're, like, main card people, it's ridiculous.
I don't get it. Like, I don't get how
they're getting the
boxing makes any money when you're paying your fighters that many.
I don't get how they're getting away with it anyway, because everybody that I talk to, I know, like, obviously the world hasn't transitioned directly into UFC. I think it's still up and coming. It's getting way more popular.
Because, especially now that it's on ESPN. It kind of solidified it.
Obviously, when McGregor fought, I've never heard just people that I've been around, people at work, people at the Y and stuff when I'm playing basketball, people that have never talked about fights to me talking about it. That's a good thing for the sport. Yeah, so it's coming up, but I've never heard anybody talking about boxing. Until Tyson Fury. Even when Deontay Wilder was champion, nobody cared about it. I never heard nobody say, oh, you going to watch that boxing pay-per-view tonight. Like, no.
No, dude,
UFC is the cream of the crop in the fighting world.
Yeah, and that's what I don't get is, like, when you're talking about watching the fights, you're talking about watching UFC.
Yeah.
So how in the world does boxing make that much money to pay its fighters? I mean, you've also got to assume they're paying out more than 16% of their income to their fighters.
Yeah.
To their fighter's salary. You've got to assume that right off the bat, and I don't think that's unfair.
Yeah.
I think a total 40, maybe even 50. Like, if you told me half of what you earn went to your fighters, I would say that that's fair. Mm-hmm. But now you also got to pay all your other people.
Then you pay the venue and all that.
Yeah, so like, would you have enough left over if you did 50? 50-50, I don't know. But 40-60, I think if 60 went to like everyone else, you'd have enough to like pay for all these people and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know that they're paying more than 16% of their revenue.
Yeah. First off.
But, man, that's insane. Like, tens of millions of dollars for one fight.
I know.
I'll fight anybody for $1 million. Like, so it's insane.
I'm going to be like that dude off Here Comes the Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, okay, really, like, if they were like, Marcus, you've got to fight, I can't think of his name, I'm blanking. Lisp? Face tattoo?
Oh, Tyson.
No, not Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, if you've got to fight Mike Tyson, and we'll give you $100,000, and they just laid it out on the table, and you had to do like 5 minutes with him, would you do it?
Yeah. I'm going to go in there and take a dive like Cowboy. No, I'm just joking. Cowboy didn't take a dive.
No, but, like if it was like a for sure like 5 minutes, like the only way it's over is if you get knocked out before 5 minutes.
I don't know about that.
Really, dude? 500,000 pay off college.
Mike Tyson, man.
Pay off college, and like everything else, dude. I would. I'd be like
maybe somebody a little bit smaller. That I don't know.
No, I mean I think I would do. Well, Mike Tyson's kind of short, but like I think I would do Mike Tyson for $100,000. Just for like 5 minutes. I mean, hell, I'll do like 5 rounds. I don't care. Like that's a lot of money, man. Like $100,000.
Mike Tyson still moves good. I don't know.
I'm not saying I'm gonna win. Yeah, I'm just saying I would take that.
I would be scared for you
because I'd be scared for myself. Like I'd be training, I'd get jacked, and I'd be like, Like, I'd give it back to him a few times, but, like, I'd get knocked out. I'd get rocked. Like, he'd knock me out like I was Zach Galifianakis. But I'd still do it. If they were like, hey, man, well, okay, if they were like, lose, you get $100,000. I'd be like, hell yeah. But if you win, you got like $1 million, 10 million, I don't know, some insane amount that these crackers are getting. Like, I'm gonna go out there and give it my all. Like, I'm gonna get vicious.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about like I get millions of dollars for like busting ass for 25 minutes, it's like,
I mean, now if they told me like, oh yeah, you go headline the Titans in the Cage at Pulaski, and we're gonna give you some just regular Joe in your town, like, all right.
that doesn't deserve like 100,000. That deserves like 300.
Oh, 1,000.
No, like three Ben Franklins. So no. Like you've got to fight somebody at the top.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I think I would do Fury for like 2 5-minute rounds, but that's it. I don't think I would last past the first round. But I'd still do it if they were like, "Hey man, lose, you get 100,000."
Yeah,
dude, I'll take just about any hit. Like if it's just like punches, sure you might get a light concussion, but like, it's not much different from a car wreck as far as concussions go. So but you made a bunch of money off that fight.
So speaking about losses that we would take, going into our next topic, Jose Aldo getting a title shot coming off of 2 losses. He's getting a title shot against the UFC bantamweight champion Henry Cejudo at UFC 250. Do you agree with him getting a title shot coming off 2 losses? And we'll talk about this next.
Yeah.
But Romero is getting a title shot also next weekend, coming off 3 losses.
Yeah. And so that's what I was going to say about this was, I guess you get to a point where there's no one left. So like Romero came off 3 losses. But, okay, on paper, they're 3 losses. In real life, I know he won one of those fights. Even the global scoring company had him winning at least one of those fights. I think
I believe he won the Paulo Costa.
The Paulo Costa fight.
And he won the second Robert Whittaker fight.
Yeah. And so, they were both like, he got robbed on both of them. So, on paper, he lost, but he really won those fights. So, it's hard for me to say that, like, he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Because he kind of won. Like, it's almost disgraceful that he has a loss
for
both of them, like, on his record for both of those. You shouldn't even put it on his record. But that's BS. So, so as far as Aldo goes, I mean, you kind of get to a point where there's no one left. I don't think that's a bad fight for Cejudo, though.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think there's anyone else more deserving? Because we've got... this weekend we've got. I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names.
Well, they're 125.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but they could come up 10 pounds to fight Cejudo if they were offered.
I think Cejudo's already beat him.
I'm sure he has,
out that
man.
division.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's why he got the belt in the first place. So you get to a point where there's really no one left. So like, I don't think it's a bad fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
Aldo. Is there anyone else in mind?
Jose Aldo's last fight was against Marlon Moraes. Remember, Marlon Moraes was the last person to fight Cejudo.
Yeah.
Sorry. Marlon Moraes won by split decision. Jose Aldo looked good. This was his bantamweight debut. Jose Aldo had been fighting at 145, so he comes down to 135. He looked good, but, I mean, he lost. He didn't... Just me personally, he didn't wow me so much that
he deserves a title shot.
Yeah, I mean, but
why do you think Moraes didn't get it?
I guess he just had got one, and Cejudo finished him.
I don't think that's unfair, but also he did win.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd to see someone who won, who deserves the fight, not get it.
But I also agree with your statement. Cody Garbrandt, he had the title. He lost his last 2. He's having trouble getting in the winning column. TJ Dillashaw, he's got 8 more months, a year to serve of his suspension. Really, there is nobody, I guess, nobody really stepping up in that division to get it.
Man.
Yes, I agree with you.
I let that coffee go cold. I know you're not a coffee drinker, man, but like iced coffee's good.
Uh-huh.
Non-purposely made
Oh,
cold coffee is
yeah.
disgusting. Ugh. Whew. Sending gross chills down my
Yeah.
spine, man. Ah, nasty. Sorry. Whew. Gross. So, but that's where I'm at with this thing. Is like Henry Cejudo has kind of cleared out everyone. So really, like you're just kind of you got slim pickings.
Yeah.
They ain't great. Does that fighter really deserve it? No. Does any other fighter deserve it anymore? No. And so we're kind of seeing that thing with like a bunch of different. We're seeing that right now with Man, dude, I'm spacing.
Now, Sonya.
No, 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 not Alessandra. One up.
Holloway.
No, 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 no. Weight class up.
Volkanovski.
No, weight class up.
The weight class up is 145 from 135.
From Adesanya.
Oh, 205
Yeah.
with Jones.
Jones.
Yeah.
John. Okay, sorry, I was blanking, man. We're kind of seeing that with Jones. Is they're just kind of giving him. I mean, we kind of know who deserves that fight, but that dude kind of
got beat
lost.
by Reyes. Too.
Yeah,
we ain't gonna get into that, but
we ain't gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But still, so we're kind of seeing that is like you're kind of just clearing out everyone. So what's next?
Mm-hmm.
You got slim pickings, and that's I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So I'm kind of just so on it.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just, I guess
Shoulder
nobody
shrug.
left. Jose Aldo's a legend, so
Yeah.
you're just giving him the title shot based on his merit as a legend, I guess.
I suppose, yeah. Well, Ariel Helwani reported that McGregor and Justin Gaethje are in early talks for a summer showdown. But by people close to Gaethje's, nearby peeps,
So
have
saying
turned
that's not,
this down.
well, I think, yeah.
They've said
I got
that's
that wrong.
true.
They said it's not true.
Yeah, they turned it down. They said
Yeah, they're not turning down the fight.
no, they say that the rumors are false. Like,
Mhm.
that the fight wasn't offered or anything like that. So, do you believe that though?
I don't know. See, I just don't think that fight brings a lot of money. I don't understand.
No.
If you're going
Like McGregor and Masvidal brings money.
yeah, but
Who's Gaethje? Like that's what most people would say.
yeah, like I understand Gaethje, he's been winning and stuff, but he's one of those guys, man. He got finished by Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez. Conor McGregor finished Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
I know that's MMA math, but I just don't think he's on McGregor's level. I believe we would see something similar to what just happened to Cowboy. Not as quick.
Not as
maybe
quick.
second round or something.
Yeah, second or third. I don't disagree with you, but also Gaethje, although a great fighter, has won a lot of great fights.
Definitely on the contender. He's a contender. Yeah.
He just hasn't made a name for himself yet. Like when you go on the street and you're like, "Hey, who's Justin Gaethje?" They're like, "Who?" But you're like,
I'm trying to think who he beat last. He beat James Vick last. So that's kind of, I think.
Yeah, but
he might have got another one in there. Oh no, he beat Cowboy last.
Yeah, he beat Cowboy last because Cowboy's eyes swell up.
That was against Ferguson, but
I can't remember.
But he beat James Vick. Then he turned around and knocked out Cowboy.
Yeah. Then Cowboy lost to Ferguson. It broke my heart, man. Yeah. But if you ask someone on the street who McGregor is, they're like, McGregor. Like, they ain't even got to have ever watched a McGregor fight. Yeah. They going to know who Conor McGregor is. Nobody knows who Justin Gaethje is. So, like, that fight does not bring money while McGregor's a money fighter.
I don't understand. So, I think it's easy. Based on what the plans are set out now, Khabib and Ferguson are fighting in April. Masvidal and Usman, it's not official yet, but they're saying they're July for fight week. So that first week of July, the July 4th card, essentially, which is usually the biggest fights of the summer.
Yeah.
It's easy. McGregor Diaz 3 now, while they're still in their primes, big money fight card.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, but that's kind of hard where Diaz just came off the loss. So, but I don't think it's a bad fight. So you could do McGregor Diaz 3.
Yeah.
I do have to agree that I think that would be the next best fight that would bring boohoo money.
Yeah.
So,
and we need to see it. But again, I believe what is happening right now, why McGregor is not getting announced for a fight, is because I believe behind the scenes he's training right now. He's staying ready. I believe he is gonna be at UFC 249 fight week. He's gonna be there. He's gonna be ready to make weight. McGregor will take the fight on a day notice.
Oh, absolutely.
He's gonna. I guarantee you, he's gonna travel. He's gonna do everything. If Khabib or Ferguson do not make weight, if one of them gets sick, he is going to be there, even on a day's notice, to accept the fight.
Yeah.
To fight for that title, I guarantee you.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I believe that's what's happening now. I believe once we finish that April card, then we're gonna see Conor fight somebody else, regardless of the winner of those two.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I don't disagree with you at
Yeah.
all. I think there's a hidden agenda going on right now with that whole thing, but I would love to see Diaz McGregor 3. That'd bring money. That would settle the argument. That would be the best fight to make right now over someone like Gaethje.
Yeah.
So, you think that messed it up?
I hope not.
Let's take a gander.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, it went off.
it went off. Let's see if it's still. Yeah, man, we're still going.
All right.
Sorry
That's
about
gonna
be a funny
Yeah.
bit.
Sorry about that, Fight Bros.
It's so weird that our $10,000 professional camera started ringing. What in the world?
And if you heard that ringtone, everybody knows big WWE fan Enzo Amore. You're soft.
You're soft. So, man, that was a funny little break.
Yeah.
So, Fight Bros podcast will be back after these WWE Enzo Amore messages.
And whoever called, I hope they don't recall again.
We'd be like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Didn't answer the first time. But it kind of only rang for a few seconds.
Yeah.
So, like, who?
I'll turn it
would
on
that be
silent
Murray?
next time.
Would that be Murray?
Yeah, it probably is.
You think that could be Mary?
Yeah, probably.
Doesn't she normally let it ring? I don't know. Most girls are like, nah, man. I want him to pick it up.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, oh well. Well, getting back into it, who do you think would be next for McGregor?
I want Diaz.
You
I
want
believe
Diaz?
that's.
Yeah, I think that's the best fight.
I'm very opinionated. Diaz is my favorite.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to see that. I've made that known since the first podcast. That's what I want to see. But I just think in the timeline, that's what we need right now.
Yeah, I gotta agree. So I would love it if they'd announce that.
Yeah. Now Masvidal, he's a bad man. That's what I said right after McGregor won. Masvidal McGregor, but it's not gonna happen. Dane already said it. So we just need to move on from that.
I think that'd be a good fight to make later.
Yeah, later. Yeah,
later, because man, I'm absolutely for Masvidal. I want to see this dude just take it to the top. But that's kind of how I am. Anytime I make a bet against you with someone, I kind of hop on that train. But then if they lose, I still like them. But like, I want to push them all the way to the top. And Masvidal's up there, man. He's at this part right now. Not that he's gonna come downhill.
It's gonna suck when he loses.
But he's kind of like there's a peak. He's at the peak. But he's kind of changing the angle of it to this. So he's just going to keep, especially if he beats Usman, man, he's just going to keep climbing that ladder. Like he has no peak.
It's going to suck when he loses because he's at the top right now. He's so popular. But that street fighting, that brawling, that knocking people out, it only lasts so long, man.
But dude, I think he's at a false summit. I think a lot of people think he's at the top. Like they see him, they think that's the summit. But what they don't see is the summit that's still going.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep. He'll have his day. Unfortunately, he'll have his day.
Does, yeah.
But everyone does. That's the thing. Everybody has that day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I want to ride this train out because I think we're going to see Masvidal just keep having these false summits and just keep going all the way straight to the top.
Yeah.
But that's because he went and saw that guru, man. Like, that, like, spiritual shit, like, that shit works. So, like, and he's crushing it, man. Like, fastest knockout in UFC history. 3 seconds, but knocked him down to 5. We need refs with faster reaction times. So
let's get into
but moving on. So we got Halloway and Volkanovski. Let me cut my volume down while I'm thinking about it. Sorry, man. That's not my girl. That's my business. I'm taking care of after all this later today that I told you about. We got Halloway and Volkanovski 2 set to headline in UFC 251 in Australia.
That was all we talked about. That
Yeah, we
that was
talked
the
about
only
it.
fight to make. No
Yeah.
other fights at 145 made sense. So
I think Holloway deserves the
yeah,
rematch.
I applaud
Like
that.
I'm for it.
I applaud them on making this rematch because that's all that needed to happen.
But yeah, that's all that needed to
Yeah.
happen. But I think Holloway deserved the rematch. Like I think he's been a good,
Oh yeah,
respectful champion.
he cleared out
He's
that division.
he
You
cleared
got to
yeah, he
give him
cleared
an
it out.
immediate rematch.
And he's
Yeah.
always fought. It wasn't like with dude, I'm blanking, but it wasn't like with most champions when they kind of get it to be a champion and they do the bare minimum. No, like he fought, he did
Robert
his
Whitaker.
yeah, Whitaker and kind
Yeah.
of Tyron Woodley, kind of.
Man, Woodley fought.
He fought, but dude, he just kind of like barely fought. He was like, "What can I
He was
do
fighting hard.
to where for a while?"
We ain't talking about this, but March 21st,
But
he's fighting Edwards.
you've
And he's gonna
admitted
make a
that though. Like
statement.
you've agreed and said the same thing that like when he
It's the fighters he was fighting. Like
after so much time, he just kind of became dull. He was winning, but he wasn't like successfully winning.
it's hard though when you gotta fight karate specialist Wonder Boy twice, then fight
I know you get
jiu-jitsu
bored, but
specialist
still, like,
Damian Maya. You gotta fight the way you gotta win. At the end of the day, you gotta win. It might not be exciting, but
so wait, what were we saying?
we was talking about Hallway
Oh, yeah,
Volkanovski, but I mean, there ain't really nothing else to talk about.
Nothing else to
That
say. I'm happy about
it
it.
needed to happen.
So, now moving on, is DC and Stipe 3 going to happen? I still think so. That's kind of what's on here
Yeah,
right
that's-
now.
that's-
Is it going to happen? I think so.
That's why I wanted to talk about it, dude. What's going on? Like we've been hearing this for months.
I
That's
think
the only fight to really make in that heavyweight division because you already said it was going to happen.
Well, yeah,
So
they're
what's
going
the
to make it
holdup?
happen.
Stipe's got cleared by his doctor. What's the holdup? I don't understand.
Dude, I think I'm predicting it now. We're going to see this fight in August or September. I don't
Yeah.
know why, but that's what's jumping out at me. August or September, we're going to see this fight.
DC's training. He's posting videos of him in there wrestling at AKA with Khabib and them. Like he stays training every day. So
Maybe
this
Stipe
one of the
is too, though.
Maybe this is one of the behind the scenes things that maybe it's already
Yeah.
set. They just haven't
Yeah.
announced it. But
Well, yeah, because I mean, you don't want to announce too much because then you're
Yeah.
going to take light away from the current fights. Like, you don't want to take any light away from the Adesanya Romero fight coming
Yeah.
up this weekend. So instead, you're like, we'll announce these slowly
Mhm.
so you don't draw people's attention away from the now and bring it to the future. Like, you
Yeah.
want them to focus on what's happening now and then be aware of what's happening in the future after the now's over. So maybe it is happening. But maybe there's no holdup. But like I said, I've got a prediction. It's at August or September.
Yeah, I
So-
agree. We gotta see that. It's gotta happen. Gotta finish the story, fellas.
Yeah. So we got Nick
Yeah.
Diaz and CM Punk. They have not stopped giving their blood to USADA. And so that means that they're both still qualified from USADA to fight. Now, if they stopped giving their blood, they'd have to go through 6 months of being cleared. Now, do you think they're planning on fighting? Because they both have gone years without fighting.
I don't
Well,
think
CM Punk fought last year, I think.
Yeah, I don't think
But-
CM Punk is. CM Punk, I know some of our listeners might not keep up with WWE, but he recently signed with WWE.